जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन यमुनतीरावनचारि यमुनतीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहार जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्री श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य शीला प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य शीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। गंगा मई यमुना मई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी हरे नाम संकीर्तन की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1, verse number 59. Drishtva samatvam tacchauraj Satve chaiva vyavasthitam Kamsastushta manarajan Prahasan idam abravit Drishtva samatvam tacchaure Satya chaiva vyavasthitam Kamsastushta manarajan Prasannidam brividit Drishtva samatvam tacchaure Satye chaiva vyavasthitim Kamsastushta manarajan Prasannidam abravit. Drishtva samatvam tacchaure Satya chaiva vyavasthitam Kamsastushta manarajan Prahasanidam abravit. Translation. My dear King Parikshit, When Kamsa saw that Vasudeva, being situated in truthfulness, was completely equipoised in giving him the child, he was very happy. Therefore, with a smiling face, he spoke as follows. Purport: by his divine grace. The word Samatvam is very significant in this verse. Samatvam refers to one who is always equipoised, unaffected by either happiness or distress. Vasudeva was so steadily equipoised that he did not seem in the least agitated when delivering his firstborn child into the hands of Kamsa to be killed. In Bhagavad Gita 256, it is said, Dukeshav anudvigna mana sukeshu vigata spira. In the material world, one should not be very eager to be happy, nor should one be very much disturbed by material distress. Lord Krishna advised Arjuna, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshni sukha dukkhadha agama payino nityas tam stitikshva bharata. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O scion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Bhagavad Gita 2.14. The self-realized soul is never disturbed by so-called distress or happiness, and this is especially true of an exalted devotee like Vasudeva, who showed this by his practical example. Vasudeva was not at all disturbed when delivering his first child to Kamsa to be killed. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपातहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं वंशकल्पतरुश्च कृपासिन्धुश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. The non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O scion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So, we've come to the part where the firstborn child is being given to Kamsa. And we know what happens is that Kamsa being happy that, okay, he's being so sincere and he's being so truthful about, getting his child killed. He actually has a change of heart for some time. Yes, but to speed up the process, Narad Muni comes and tells him that, hey, you don't know which is the first and the last. So don't be a fool, get your things in order. And that's funny because it is actually very astonishing that over here it's said that self-realized soul is never disturbed by so-called happiness and distress. Then the point would be that then all these self-realized souls are actually like, how should we say, they really are indifferent. Yes, which is actually true. But at the same time, it's not the way which we think. Because the way we think is that I do not care. Yes, that means I do not care for the body. I do not care for anyone. Yes. If distress comes, obviously it's not because of me. If happiness comes, I will try to enjoy it. But a self-realized soul, Radhanath Maharaj was explaining, that actually, if you see all the Acharya, like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he mentions that he is lower than the worm in the stool. And he's expressing his humility like anything. But it's like all of these gopis, Sachi Mata, everyone, they are distressed when the Lord actually leaves the home. And these are all self-realized souls. Advaita Acharya, yes. We are going to have Gaur Purnima next week. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu leaves the home, yeah, to perform his sannyas pastimes just for the sake of the whole world. Why? He doesn't need to do all that. He is the Lord himself. But because people won't respect, he's trying to think from the conditioned soul's perspective that what can I do so that these people come back to him? And he's making such a big sacrifice. And all of them are crying. So how can we say that, matrastha sparshastha kaunteya, shitoshni sukha dukkada? They're crying, they're weeping. So the correct thing is that it's not indifferent to everything. It's indifferent to the material world. Because in the material world there is material consciousness, which is not related to Krishna. Anything not related to Krishna, we are indifferent. But if we see everything in connected to Krishna, then we are actually invested in it so much more than the karmis are. Yes. Srila Prabhupada himself, he wanted nice temples. He spent so much blood to build Juhu, ISKCON of Juhu. Yes. And in Vrindavan, Mayapur, so much effort. He was getting so angry and he was chastising everybody in Vrindavan. Why are you not building the temple at the pace which you were promised? They are cheating you. But he was doing all for us. Yes, it was nothing to do with the material world. And that's the thing, we have problems in our consciousness. That we don't understand what it means to be self-realized. And hence, we don't know what it means to actually be not distressed and happy in relation to the material world. Yes, when I was reading this verse, right, like literally right now, and in the whole of my whatever I've spent my life in Krishna consciousness, 5 years, whatever that is. So you get to see so many devotees, very senior devotees, and then we see sometimes they get very angry, and then we are like, hey, shitoshni sukha dukkada, what happened to that? This is not a devotee. But it is from whose perspective? It is from my perspective. Oh, they are like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eating, and then Ramachandra Puri comes over there and says that you're a sannyasi, you're eating so much. And all the devotees got so angry. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped eating. Because he's right, I'm eating too much. Yes. Over here in Bhagavad Gita, he shows the Virata Rupa. He's eating all of the armies, There's nothing in the world he's not eating in that whole Gauri Virata Rupa which he showed to Arjuna, and he got scared. He's actually devouring everything. And over here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is eating Mahaprasad. And then he's like, no, you're eating too much. How can we understand that? All the devotees playing in the Narendra Sarovar, I think it was Indradumna Sarovar, Narendra Sarovar, for Holi during the pastime. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is mentioning that what happened to this Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya? He's such an old guy, he's 70 and all, and he's enjoying like kids in the Sarovar. And then Swarup Damodar Goswami or Ramananda Rai says that, he has been eating dry cakes of dry logic. They were so dry, he had no happiness in them. But after tasting bhakti, he can't control himself. And then Mahaprabhu was very happy. So these all examples which we are seeing, they do not fall under our perception of reality. And that's why we make mistakes. And I've made so many judgments for so many devotees. Because from external we might think that, that this is going on, this is the way it should be. No, not necessary. I remember It's like we know Jayadut Maharaj and all, and we know how one-liners, he's famous for his one-liners answer, the question can be even 20 minutes long. He'll just give a one-liner to it and then he'll explain. And the first time when I heard him, I'm like, wow, he's so strong. Like I don't think there is compassion at all in that, And this is just my perception. But now it's like you can see the compassion. It's compassion for us, so strong that there are some bounds which we cannot actually go out of. And even if we go out of, we should know that we have crossed those limits. That's the beauty of Krishna consciousness, that there is no philosophy in the whole world which can actually, it uplifts us even if we are over those bounds. There's nothing that can stop bhakti. There's no material situation which can actually bind us to this material world if we want to be Krishna conscious. Any situation. We just had Rath Yatra, and yesterday when I was chanting, I was thinking that, we pulled the Rath, at least I did for first few minutes. And then, all like I saw everybody was there in the tents, figuring out stuff. And we were pulling out the stuff. But then they pulled the Rath, they went. And it's like after 7 days there is, the Lord goes to Vrindavan and then he stays for 7 days and then he returns. And so I was thinking that, because we did Rath Yatra on last Saturday, and then this Saturday we are going to do, another ceremony. So it adds up, like Vrindavan pastimes and then Jagannath Puri pastimes, Kurukshetra and Vrindavan pastimes. And it was funny that, any situation, even if it's your home, we can actually be with Krishna. But because we are not trained, we need to come to the temple. We need to come for Sunday feast programs. We need to listen to the devotees. We need to associate. We need to attend these big festivals of Rath Yatra, of Gaur Purnima together. We cannot do it individually because these kind of verses we won't be ever able to understand, And that's the beauty. When the Rath actually moved, we were watching, and I usually like that. I actually take permission, like I'll come in 5 minutes. I just want to see the Rath moving, every single year, and we saw seeing the Lord on the cart. And the tall, the chariot, it really fills the heart with pride. That what Prabhupada has done is unimaginable. The compassion, people, in the cars, I saw one blue car go in the parking, and then he rolled down his window to see what was going on. And we are doing our stuff, It's like everybody's busy, Like this has to be and that has to be, and the balloons are in the way of the Lord, and you have to place this and that. But then we don't know what impact is putting on the people, what we are sending out over there. It's amazing. It's like nowhere in the, like in a place like, Indian Steel Road Park, who would have imagined ever that there would be Jagannath coming over there? No, but we have been consistent. It's amazing. Every time the Rath moves, it's like we are seeing miracles. It's actually a miracle to see the Lord moving down the streets of Arizona. And we are a part of it. I was so proud that I'm a part of this community, that I am able to do some little thing which I can. So it's amazing. And that's why these verses can only be understood because it's, from our perspective, it has to be black and white. I've dealt in my brain, in my mind also, like I cannot decipher how this is, to be frank. Very weird. I've just heard Maharaj, and then you just know that it is like, it's not what I think it is. I have to just wait till I understand them. And it comes to our mind. Yes. Because when we are new in bhakti, and then we have our own judgments, that this person should not like do like this. Why? What is the problem? But you know, for example, from my perspective, we can see that, oh, we can make it like this and like that. We can have a whole, the Rath Yatra in a whole, like make the whole tent, which they do for construction sites, and then have it internal and everything. But the thing is that, just doing a festival at home, it has caused so much stress for so many people. It's not only me. And my sister is stressed. My other sister is stressed. My mother is stressed. All my friends are stressed. And I'm putting that stress on everybody. I'm like, I cannot handle this. You guys handle this. But I can't imagine organizing such a big festival. And that too, it's year after year. It's like yesterday we were planning something and we were like, this has to be 2 inches up. And that kind of detail we've seen for Janmashtami, we do, I know. But I was so frustrated. I was like, it's fine. I know those people who see it. I really couldn't care less now at this moment. Just get it done, It's not going to happen otherwise. And I've seen Mataji running all the way from this tent to that tent, getting things done. And it's like you get a call. Yesterday I was thinking that I was calling, one of the devotees, like Sarjan Prabhu. I'm like, Prabhu, can you come? Because he's like the big guy and then he can do some stuff. And then he's like, no, Prabhu, I couldn't finish my assignments, okay? And then at that moment, the first thing which came up to my mind is like, I've seen that. If there's nobody to do in the temple, what can the authority do? Because it's a volunteer organization. Yes? We are all volunteers kind of a thing. But that's the whole point. That even though, it is an option and we all are still not thinking of it as an option, that's the beauty what Prabhupada has done. And it's amazing how, it's not, I couldn't say we, but it's like all the leaders of our community, especially Mataji, they actually do Janmashtami, It's amazing. And it really, when Prabhupada says, if instead of bickering about that person, if you can do it, you do it and then see what happens. And it's really difficult. So difficult. It's easy to say from, from outside. Oh yeah, everything is so nice. Itme kya hai, You make the cart and you put Jagannath on top. And yeah, you just drag them. Yeah, people come up. People show up. But when do they show up, We call people for Pahandi. And I remember, it's like, how many people were there? 10? 10, 15? And there were hardly 2 Kirtaniers. We tried, we did. But Pahandi is so important. If we see in Jagannath Puri, I don't know if people know the importance, but this is so beautiful, the Pahandi festival. Like you are able to actually see the Lord moving towards the Rath. And this is what Radhanath Maharaj actually exemplifies, and he says that you won't understand until and unless you have to be in the story. Yes, you have to think yourself. At least you can try what's going on. And that's the thing. If we start taking up responsibility, then we understand, we get more and more humility. Why? Because then we understand that we are dependent. I cannot do it on my own. I have to be humble, otherwise it's not going to get done either way as a tactic. And that's why they say sometimes, it's like, yes, washing vessels will give us humility. But it's an individual seva, and that's why the heart might or might not be getting cleansed, because nobody's actually coming and telling, hey, see Prabhu, so much dirt is there and all. But when you are in a position, and if you have to get things done, there is no other option. Yes, no other option. And that's why Maharaj always says, and he was giving this, somebody was telling from Newtown, Kolkata, I think that's the ISKCON over there. They were mentioning that Maharaj said, I'll give you a secret mantra for running the temple, because they had a new temple, and this president was actually telling, and Maharaj actually gathered all the, devotees, the brahmacharis and everybody, and then, temple commanders, and then the preaching heads, and this head and that head. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava. And then Maharaj brought all of them to, and then I'm going to tell you, share a secret mantra. And I was like, even I was listening, I'm like, and then what does he say? Tinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnunam amani namana dena kirtaniya sadhari. Tinadapi sunichena. And I'm like, how is that even relevant? It's not a strategic move. It's not like, profit is equal to, initial, final cost minus initial cost. And if it is positive, then it's profit. Apply these examples, and you apply economics, and you go and read this book or that book, how to be successful in 7 days. It had nothing to do with that. He said, Tinadapi sunichena. Why? And then we see, it's every, sorry to say, but I'm not as good as, I behave. And because I've been so frustrated and stressed, I've been shouting left, right, center. And then it's like, can't you see? Can you just shut up? Just listen? And all these things are coming in my mouth. And then I've been asking for forgiveness left, right, center. But the thing is that at that moment, it's like it's very hard to tolerate. It really is a chance of patience. And then when some authority comes and chastises also, and I've gotten chastised by Prabhu and by seniors. And then I'm like, so what is the big deal? I didn't show up 15 minutes. I showed up 15 minutes. So what? But the thing is that person needed me at that time. Why wasn't I there? And from my perspective, so what? I was busy. I have so much to do. But that's the whole aspect, that once you actually go through that whole thing, you understand that yes, you cannot do that way. You have to work with people. You have to understand what the authority wants, the mood and the mission of the Guru. Very difficult to understand. It's like my sister was telling me, why can't you just give it off, the main things, like, the dressing and everything. And I'm like, none of these people have done it. That's the whole point. And then I have to be constantly over there. It's going to be very difficult. I just cannot rely directly. It's because over the whole days, I have not seen them. If they understand what we want to do. Yes. So then, how can I give it up? I have to be constantly there. It's not about me being attached to, getting, do what I want to do. No. It's about it has to be done the right way. The way which we have done since today. No, but it can be done this way also. So what? It's not a big deal. And that's the whole problem. You don't see it as a big deal. And hence, Maharaj says that to follow authority is actually being humble. Because you have to keep aside your views. If you have given your views and it's not being followed, so what? Who cares about your views? Nobody could give a, dime for that. It doesn't matter. But the development of our humility is actually important. Yes, that's why Trinadapi Sunichena. Guru Maharaj always mentions that following authority and cooperating with each other will actually please him. Yes, not anything else. And it's so difficult to do that. Very difficult to do that. Because I think that I know so much than my authority. That's a fact. Let's be very frank. Like nobody's so self-realized, like Shitoshni Shuka Dukkhada over here. Let's be very frank. I think that I know much more than anybody else. And so it becomes a problem to follow. But this problem is going to be also there in the spiritual world. And that's why we are in the material world and not over there. Because we have a problem following authority. Yes. So, out of all of this during Rath Yatra or what we are doing this week, it has really given so much insight that it's so important to follow authority. Yes. And that's why after following that, then we will understand what it really means to be like Vasudev. It's not a morality thing, it's a bhakti thing. There's a difference. Yes. So we'll stop here today. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.